Here I am, in the place to be. Mr. K&B, you can't fuck with me. Extra sexy, extraordinary. Palms are hairy, your mama pop.
Welcome to another sort of episode of POP-FLIX. Today we're doing things a little different.
Little loose cannon.
Yeah, we are en route to our movie theater, which for some reason our city decided to put on the opposite side of the town of the cool people. But we are going to watch Aquaman. So we're doing a little segment for when we go and see movies called POP-FLIX Go to the Movies. Name pending.
Very pending.
But we've had some, we've been recently doing the DC movies, and this movie came out. I kind of had a hope that we'd get the POP-FLIX out for these before this came out. Like, not for Aquaman, but for the entire DCEU. But, scheduling, holidays, bullshit like that.
Oh, the holidays. Yeah. How much money I spent.
Yeah. But no, so what we're going to do is we're going to, give our thoughts, because neither of us have seen this movie. I haven't read any reviews. I don't know about you.
I have stayed away from everything.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't think I've watched anything besides the first two trailers.
And I've been doing that a lot lately. Just staying away from reviews and whatnot. It's like, the only thing I've ever heard a full review on was Into the Spider-Verse. And that's about it.
I've yet to watch anything regarding that except for the very end of Venom. Which, if you went to the movies and saw it, it's the very beginning of Venom that has the Into the Spider-Verse thing to it.
I finally watched Venom.
Yeah, I did too. I watched it after you did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You sent me a message saying, hey, I'm going to watch Venom now. And I was like, tell me how it is. And got nothing back from you.
Oh, I didn't. I sent it back to our other buddy. No, it was garbage.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Someone I work with said, view it as a romantic comedy between Venom and Eddie Brock, and it's acceptable. And I was just like, okay. But this is the key problem with an origin movie that has so many things that it views as necessary origins. But we're getting off topic. We're gonna go see Aquaman, which, the only thing I've seen as far as reviews go are like titles, like, Aquaman review, yada 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 yada. People say this is gonna be a good movie. This is redeeming for the DCEU, although light a bag of dog shit on fire in front of a door, run away, and the person behind that door is Zack Snyder, you've improved the DCEU.
All I heard was, I think the only thing I've ever heard tagline-wise was from Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Just like, they're going in the right direction.
That's good.
There's a lot of plot holes between this and Justice League, but honestly, who gives a fuck?
Yeah. Well, see, and with us, we've seen, we can't say every DCEU movie, but the majority of the DCEU movies we've seen together the first time. And each time, we go in with high expectations, and we just come out not happy. So for this one, and actually for Justice League 2, which is why it was weird, we're not really going in with high expectations.
I just want to be like, okay, I'm here. Impress me.
Yeah. So, we're going in with that. Hopefully we're not disappointed. Knowing me, I will probably be disappointed, but that's because I'm evidently an evidently a very avid DC hater.
And I'm going in with the idea of okay, well, it's like going to a cheap, what do you call it? Cheap titty bar. And I gotta be like, all right, I know what I'm gonna get for my money.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's decent.
Well, yeah. Okay, so not necessarily related to the Aquaman movies, but at the same time, sort of. I've watched a couple things where Jason Momoa has gone on a couple talk shows, and he's actually very charismatic. I was not expecting someone who, especially with his range in Justice League, being brooding to a little less brooding, only when he's being forced to by the lasso of truth.
Well, and I was reading too that Zack Snyder's version of Aquaman is not this Aquaman at all. So I was like, oh, well, well, that's a little bit cool. Like, because you could tell by the trailers and the comedy and whatnot in the trailers, you're just like, I think I'm actually going to have fun and not be uber depressed.
Yeah. No, I think I'm not going to hate this movie as much as I've hated the other ones. But even this drive, I'm somewhat getting my hopes up, and I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, and you know what's so weird is like we didn't even go to the premiere. We didn't even go to the premiere of Justice League. We didn't even go. You know,
that weekend.
With that weekend, and with Aquaman.
Gosh, this movie came out like a week ago plus.
Yeah.
It came out on the 21st, and I hope you're going to post this in the next week. Christmas has already happened. Like,
and
we did not care.
No, I did, and it's like what we talked about earlier, like the Venom movie. I didn't care. I waited until it came out on home video.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of the last movie I went and saw in theaters. Damn, what?
Was it that one that you really, really hated?
I think it was. Wow, you actually reminded me about that. I actually blocked that out of my brain. I was going to say,
are you not saying it because it's in a secret?
No. Well, no. I was, honestly, my brain thought it was Teen Titans Go to the Movie, and that was in, like, June. But I'm like, oh, no, I went and saw another one in November that was a shitstorm of a movie.
Yeah.
And it's I'll talk about it some other time, but it's Fantastic Beasts 2. And God, was I disappointed in that movie. Not that I really had expectations, but God, was I disappointed. So. Yeah,
and I've yet to watch the first one.
Yeah.
As of now.
We were gonna try to do that as one of the Harry Potter things I was doing, but
yeah, because I wanted to actually see it, you know, but I just never had I need to see this movie. I've never had that desire whatsoever.
That's how I've been with a lot more movies recently, and I don't know what it is. Like, I honestly think Infinity Wars is kind of flowers for Algernon.
Just raped you?
Taste in movies. No. So do you know the story of Flowers for Algernon?
No.
A guy becomes so smart that everything in life loses its
fun.
fun.
Yeah, okay.
Well, in this metaphor, it's more, that movie was so amazing, it's made all other movies not as fun or entertaining.
I can agree to that because I recently rewatched Infinity War, and I was like, how can we go up from here?
Real quick, when did you rewatch Infinity War?
Really?
Yeah.
To be honest, last week.
I watched it last night.
Really? My wife's like, what do you want to do? Because, when was this? I think it was Saturday. So before we went off on our adventure down to Phoenix and stuff like that, I just needed something because the stress of the holidays and spending all this stupid money and this and that. I was like, I need a defunk. You know, I need something to bring me up and just rip me apart in the end. So, Infinity War.
I was, I got off of work yesterday, and I'm just like, it's been a really kind of stressful, weird week for me. Well, let's watch something I really want to watch. Are they trying to cut all of it?
Nah, I don't know. Just leave him alone. Don't even look at him. Don't give him the time of day. As you can hear, we're cruising as we're going to the theater, so if you hear cars...
I'm sure you can hear the thudding of the road as we fly out, because our city takes such good care of their
and if anybody says this is unprofessional, they do this at the social vent also. There's a lot of episodes recorded while they're driving around town. So.
Yeah. Well, and this is particular to the driving, though. We're not going to arrive at the movie theater 30 minutes early just to do a little record before we sit down.
No, we wanted you to sit back with us and chat while we go to this Aquaman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're obviously not bringing this in with us.
Oh no, then that's pirating.
Yeah, that's a lot of problems to bring up right there.
I don't know how we explain it to the manager. If you're like, so we got this podcast going. Can we bring it in and just record the whole movie?
We'll edit out all of the noise that we make. No. Gosh, that'd be fun, though, one time to do a private screening.
Oh, yeah. I've always thought about that. I've always wanted to do, rent a theater, then podcast during it.
Yeah.
But it has to be a movie that I've already seen.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the point, though, is, and
It's not like I'm going to be like, oh, let's do a podcast and do Avengers Endgame.
Yeah, well, and with with POP-FLIX, we want to enjoy being able to talk during the movie. If you've never seen the movie before, don't be an asshole and talk during the movie. So, unless it's a really shitty movie like Chopping Mall.
Do you think we're... Yeah. Okay, so, since we're going to make this bet, we're going to pause this right before we go in. How much do you want to bet we're going to get some asshole sitting behind us? Because it's always our luck.
Well, okay, but normally it's our luck when we're in the worst theaters. And this time we're actually in a good theater.
We're going to come out after this and be like, God damn it!
Yeah, we probably will. I'm not taking that bet because I know Sod's Law will make it so we lose that. Be like, oh man, like it's totally nice, and the movie starts and someone's like, oh, sorry, last second walking in.
Look at that, it's Batman. Of course it's Batman.
Look at that, it's Batman. God damn it, it's Aquaman, you asshole. What's The Rock doing in this movie? That's Jason Momoa.
And I'll be like, we need to leave.
Yeah.
We've had many experiences where our movie-going experience was just ruined.
I will say this to everybody out there watching. If you leave a movie for more than 5 minutes and you expect to be fully filled in when you come in and it cannot be summarized in a line, don't expect to be filled back in. Unless your person you're with is an asshole.
The asshole.
Also, why would you be going to see a movie that you're going to be gone for more than 5 minutes during?
Right? I don't get. I don't get the whole, this is why we leave early. This is why we get here early. Enough, you know.
No, and I think the only movie I've ever walked out for that set period of time was when I went and saw The Last Airbender. And then I came back in and I was watching the screen and I'm like, do I even want to know what's going on at this point in time?
Yeah, that movie in general.
Yeah.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, well, we're going to pause, and then I'm probably going to put some cool music here, like your time jumping.
Or elevator music.
Oh, that would be awesome. I will look for that. So we'll see you on the other side. All right. We are recording.
Now, before we start, we didn't have a bunch of shitholes around us.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
That was a plus.
But we did have a bunch of shitholes on the movie.
A lot of shit on the screen.
Yeah.
A lot of shit on the screen.
So I looked it up while you went, like right after the movie. 64% on Rotten Tomato.
That does not deserve a 64% on Rotten.
I was going to say, I mean, I'd give it a D at best, so... But no.
No.
Like... There were parts. This movie isn't complete crap. I can't. This isn't Suicide Squad, where the best part's the soundtrack. It's actually kind of the reversed opposite.
The soundtrack is fucking terrible. Like, oh my god! And we're gonna be cursing at this point because I just can't. I don't know what I witnessed. Like that's the problem with this movie.
But real quick, non-spoiler thoughts.
Okay.
Just so we can put a thing.
Yeah.
It was interesting. The most interesting character in the movie, I have to say, was Black Manta.
Mine was Ocean Master.
And there were neat parts with them. Not together, because they were never actually physically together, ever. But, no, it was better than some DC movies have been. Now, it takes very heavily from others, like Black Panther.
Very.
Like, the first half of that movie is like, hey, Black Panther did this stuff, let's do this stuff.
Oh, we're cruising, I gotta stop by the bank and put some money in. But yeah, I was like, oh, I'm enjoying this, and there's certain aspects I do enjoy just because me being a comic book guy and the accuracy of, costumes. Oh my goodness. Black Manta's costume looked beautiful, but it felt out of place with the way the screen was.
Well, yeah, there was some weird, like, the lighting on it was real weird, too. Like, the under the ocean scenes all had this weird, like, I know this might not sound surprising, but it's got this weird bluish tint to it. And everything on the land was, like, as bright as it could be. And don't get me wrong, in the DC universe, having some bright moments is not the worst thing in the world.
That movie outside looked like, when it was on the land, looked like it was all shot in the same lens they did with on the Kent farm. Remember how terrible that looked?
Like that weird, like surrealistic.
Yeah,
it's surrealistic where you're just like, this doesn't look real. This doesn't feel real. Like, and then the beginning part, when I was like, I leaned over, I'm like, that's Jango Fett, and you're like, no, it's not. I'm like, hell yeah, that's Jango Fett. Like,
well, he looked terrible. Like,
he did. It was really bad CG.
They got the poor man's version of what Marvel has.
I know, but
that's why when you said that, I was like, oh, and then I thought about the actors in my head, and I was like, oh yeah, he is in this movie, but that's not him.
Yeah, well, then he showed up older, like the actual actor shows up, and he's like, that's him. I'm like, it was him the entire time.
I know.
It's
That was my bad.
Honestly, almost Tron levels of, like, with Jeff Bridges.
I was thinking the same thing.
Like, the dad looked like the Tron Jeff Bridges almost, and I'm like, have we not gotten past that?
I feel like that was the style, especially when they were in Atlantis.
Yeah. Well, and all of the floating. The floating and the floating.
Okay, I gotta ask you, what did you think of them having stairs down there?
That was kind of funny, honestly.
I know, because when they're in Orm's throne room, and I was like, what? What's the point of the stairs
that lead up to? But it kind of makes sense given the context of the movie.
Yes,
it does.
I know.
It sort of does. But it's just one of those, you watch it, and I don't know, like, some of Jason Momoa's levity in it was kind of really badly misplaced, and giving away some of the, like, most of the funny jokes in the trailer was really crappy.
There was funny jokes?
Yeah, I know. I don't know, it's one of those, the line from the trailer where he's like, I could have peed on it. Like, without having seen it before when I watched the trailer the first time, that might have brought a chuckle to me. But with this one, I was just standing there, like, you were sitting right there next to me, we were just sitting there just like,
The couple next to me, I can tell that they really don't, they're one of those people, they're not like us when they go to a movie, because it takes a lot to entertain us.
Yeah.
They were...
Well, it's
regular folk. I'm just going to say that. I'm not going to say anything.
But it's so weird, though. Like, back onto the soundtrack with this. That's not something I normally pay attention to in a movie. I'm not normally like, the music in this is not great.
Yeah, and it felt so off, especially the score.
Yeah,
the score was really, like, just
There
bad.
were just some weird audio cues that went on where I'm just like, Did you guys just not record what was going on and you needed to add music and you couldn't think of what music to add? So you just went with, like, some random orchestral piece? Like, it really didn't fit.
It's especially the weird, no spoilers, but the weird Mira scenes. And I swear, they knew each other in Justice League, right?
They met in Justice. That's how we got the Trident.
Yeah.
And it's
That doesn't make sense anymore, because if that mom left it behind,
I also, there is a romance in this movie that is just super rushed. Like, there's literally a scene of they don't really get along. They're just they're on this mission to.
She gives him, like, glances here and there. And...
Yeah, like, it's more like she's viewing him as an idiot, and then in, like, 1.5 scenes, suddenly she's so endeared to him, she loves him, and then they have this.
Her hair was way too red.
On land, especially.
Well, just let you know, folks, it's snowing. But yeah, and her. Oh my goodness, the hair thing was bugging me. Yeah, I don't know why, but her hair was super red, and it was like, this is kind of like takes me away from the character. Especially her trying to act.
Yeah. Well, and it's so. So overall, let's get to this so we can get to the spoiler part. Not worrying. Overall, what was your score for it?
I'm still trying to.
10.
Out of 10. Oh man, I'm sitting at a 5, but that's for now, just because there's parts of this movie I really like like it was ripped from the comic book. Like Black Manta. Oh, Ocean Master made me like the comic book guy scream and squeal inside of me.
Well, and their costumes were very well. Like, that's the one thing in this movie is costume design was on point.
Yeah.
Aquaman's
costume when he finally
Mira's
gets the trident and stuff like that. You're like
Ocean Master when he puts on his mask. I heard you squee.
Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, this is what I want. But this movie is just so all over the place. It feels like I just took some acid at some point. It was like, take me to Atlanta, then take me to all these other great places. And wait a minute, why don't you just call the Justice League?
It's also like this movie. Like this is the Marvel problem of, well, once you've established the Avengers, why aren't the Avengers being called in? Is it just because we can't afford people? Or I guess in DC's position, we actually don't know who's going to continue playing these characters?
Yeah, and and the other problem, I got to sit at a solid 5 because Jason Momoa, he had me at certain points, but then he turned on the Jason Momoa charm, and I'm like, that's not what I want. Mm-hmm. That, show some damn range.
Yeah.
You?
I'm going to say 2.5 out of 10. It's not the worst. Like, it's not Batman v Superman unedited, or the normal edition.
Yeah.
But it's still, there's so many rip-offs from other movies in it.
Cliches.
Cliches especially, but, there's plots. Like, you could take 5 separate big movies that exist, cut them at certain points, and you have this movie. And it's bothersome. So I'm just going to say 2.5 out of 5.
2.5 out of 5.
So now we're going to get into the spoilers.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, right here, spoilers. And if you have not seen the movie yet, you can stop it here.
I mean, or you can just not give a crap and just listen to us talk about it. So
yeah, or you can come back and listen to it. Pause it wherever after you see it. All right.
The part where he speaks to the giant monster. No. We'll take it back first, a little bit before that. The part where he meets his goddamn mom.
I saw you slap your face.
Fuck that scene. For real, his mom being dead was a driving motivational point. You bring her back alive, and what the hell do you have? Oh, well, now I'm just trying to save the world. I'm not doing it for selfish reasons anymore. But it's not because my selfish reasons got overcame. It's because my mom is actually alive. And I knew it. It was the...
I knew she was coming.
And it was when I saw Mira get saved. And I'm just like, there's no way there's one of those creatures that's just a friendly version of those creatures.
I know.
The breachers or
I
whatever.
knew she was coming back. Just the way the dialogue was.
Yeah, and I was just like...
They're like, oh, we sacrificed her. Blah, blah, blah. We did this,
they never said that they killed her. They just said, we sacrificed her to the trench. And then, we're going to sacrifice Mira to the trench. There's no, we're going to kill her. So I'm just like, okay, you're never explicitly stating that anybody saw her die.
Yeah.
So that's really weird. But then she came back, and and it was funny, because that's not the part where I slapped myself. I slapped myself when she was giving that speech about how he has to be the one true heir, and, are you afraid? You're ready to be king. I'm just like, oh my God, did you just, open a book of cliches and go, hey, Nicole Kidman, just say whatever comes to your mind out of these and make it as unbelievable as possible?
You know what's so funny, too, is I really liked the beginning of this movie. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I got a little emotional when she said I had to leave. Mm-hmm. And this, and I was like, oh, man, that's a good motivation for Arthur. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, as the movie goes, and all of a sudden the weird soundtrack kicks in.
Yeah.
Honestly, what the fuck is up with that soundtrack?
No, and there's the scene when the tidal wave is coming. You just, instead of you hearing the rushing water or anything like that, and most of the scenes that didn't make sense to me were out of the water. Where you can't blame it on the oceans, which they were doing all the time. No, it's that tidal wave's coming, and you pretty much just hear nothing, and then kind of, and you're just like, what the hell? What?
The part that made me cringe. I knew I was gonna. The part that made me cringe really, really bad was the what do you call it? a montage of Black Manta building a suit. That was fucking weird.
No. So to me, I liked my favorite character in this movie was probably Black Manta, and that scene was part of what endeared me to it because do you know what it was? It was a Tony Stark scene.
Yeah.
It was a.
But the song was weird. Like it was a weird.
Yeah, it wasn't really a song. Yeah.
Yeah, it was the song of choice was like wait.
But I'm saying the montage itself of him building it felt so Tony Stark that I was like, I understand where this Black Manta character is coming from because if you Tony Stark is a human being in a world of gods, and he has this inferiority complex about it, where Black Manta's kind of the same way, and I can feel where he's coming from. His whole dad dying scene I didn't care about, but they
were trying to rip that out of the Black Panther book.
They really were. Baba, no!
I don't know why, but that fucking bugged me too. With the Aquaman when he's like, let the water be your, be the judge or whatever.
Well, no. That was Orm that said it the first time. Ocean Master said it first when he's just like, let blood spill or bloodshed decide.
Not that. Like with Black Manta's dad.
Oh.
That was very fucking weird. Like I was like, you're really not gonna save him?
Yeah. Like, well, I thought maybe he was going to like move the thing and then just leave them, and he was still gonna die, and he was just gonna hold that against him.
Yeah.
Like, where he's like, you could have saved us, but instead, you saved the other guy, but left us for dead. And I was just like, there's other ways to do it without making Arthur seem like a total dick.
Yeah, when he's just like, let the ocean be your judge, and I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. We're taking the hero out of Aquaman right now.
And that was the other line that made me slap my face when frickin' Atlantia was giving it, where she's just like, the Atlantis needs more than a king. Or Atlantis always had a king. They need something more. What's more than a king? Goes, a hero. I'm just like, fuck you, movie! That is where you lost me. Like, I was on board for this journey. You lost me there.
It was like that moment in Solo when we both looked at each other like, don't say rebel. Don't say rebel. You son of a bitch!
Rebel.
You said,
Fuck!
Fuck you! Oh man, this movie was so like, and what a giant fucking lobster?
No. That one actually made sense.
That made sense to me too, but I was like,
the Kraken, more or less.
Yeah.
Like it was a full-on Kraken, but. I really wanted to whisper this to you, and I regret having not done it when it was there. I wanted to whisper to you the moment that he was meeting the giant monster. I'm like, he's gonna befriend it. He's gonna frickin' befriend it, and it's gonna come into play in the final battle. And lo and behold, friggin' busts out of the center of the earth.
And I think my score is going down a bit, because the thing that's really as a and I don't want to sound selfish as a comic book person, but I'm going to sound selfish.
I'm sorry, is that not the purpose of being a comic book person?
Yes,
so that whenever someone comes out, you can sound
people
selfish?
are going to see this, and people who are, like the numbskulls next to me who never even picked up a comic book, they're going to be like, oh, I know Aquaman. I'm like, that's not Aquaman. Yeah. That's not it. Oh, I know how he got his trident. I'm like, that's not how he got his trident. There's certain aspects of storylines they took, but then James Wan's like, those Fast and the Furious movies? Yeah, we're going to add that to this.
That's the entire freaking Sicily scene.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what you just made that come to my brain. That's the scene that this is cutting off, is the Fast and the Furious scene in wherever the hell they were. But that's what that Sicily scene made me think. You're right.
Yeah. And so, and it was just like, I don't know, man. I really wanted to scream at the screen. Like, I really wanted to, like, especially the stupid little parts of just, like, when Jason Momoa, I'm like, I just want to scream, like, quit being Jason Momoa. Please quit being Jason Momoa. Right now, for the sake of my sanity, please quit being Jason Momoa.
No, and it's... So, The Rock has yet to play a superhero in a comic book based superhero in a movie yet, correct?
Yes.
Do you know why I'm very thankful for that fact?
Because of Jason Momoa.
No. Well, yes, in part, but it's that's more showing what it is. It's that he has so much charisma that if he is not cast as the right hero, you lose it all. Like, Jason Momoa has a lot of charisma, but that's not Aquaman. Aquaman's not this, romantic lady killer who is just amazing.
I think that's why it bugged me. Like,
Yeah.
and I was going to whisper to you, and I wish I did. You know, remember when they kiss? I was like, don't you see that there's a lot of fucking shit going on around you guys?
No. So setting this up for you who haven't seen it, which I don't know why you're listening to this point, but still, there's a war going on behind them. And Mira goes, there's been too many casualties. We need to stop this fighting. We need to go stop... there's something going on over there, dude.
Accidents, because people don't know how to drive in the snow.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right, but
no. But sorry, let me finish the thing.
Go ahead.
But she's like, oh, there have been too many casualties. We need to stop this fighting. They kiss for a solid 10 seconds of just people dying around them, and you're just like, how is that a romantic scene? What the fuck is wrong with you?
I think it was
you
more
think
for
it's
colors.
a romantic scene.
Like, you know, because how they were floating there and all the colors were going, like, I think he was trying to interpret that as fireworks, but I was like, that is the wrong fucking time to kiss.
Yeah, no, that is a lot of people dying. Oh, that is stuffed up.
Yeah.
But that is a lot of people dying, and you don't need that going on at that time. Also, this is kind of the Schneider in me. Oh, there's a...
Yeah, I see.
But this is the Schneider in me, I guess, speaking. But... there was some real weird use of slow-mo in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not fully understanding the context of why me standing or me moving deserves slow-mo without anything going on behind it. Like, they had some legitimately neat scenes when it came to sort of slow-mo. Like, when Ocean Master and Aquaman are about to fight, and you see the cape flowing of Ocean Master, and, like, it slow-mos under the cape up to his face. I'm like, that's a cool shot. But then you have weird ones where it's just Arthur doing something.
Yeah, and, you know, the aspect of the whole, like, like, the little weird, like, Jason Momoa moments for me where it was like, he has to say a joke. Like, there's certain moments where it worked. Like, remember when the big guys come up to him in the bar?
Dude,
I thought that was funny.
That was probably, like, the funniest moment in the movie. Where he's sitting at the bar with his dad, and the guy walks up, and he's just like, are you the fish boy from the news? Turns around and goes, it's Fish Man. And, like, that was funny. And he's like, but what do you want? He's like, can we get a selfie?
Yeah, he had a pink phone,
He had a pink glittery little phone. He's like, can we get a selfie? And he's like, sure.
And I like how it started like
it started
caption,
like serious.
Then all of a sudden it's like he's more pictures the more drunk he gets.
And they're just having fun. And that was a fun little moment in the movie that did not match the rest of this movie at all.
Well, that's why I had high hopes, because that happened.
Started off strong.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that was cute. And I saw you pop a little bit because you're like, oh, that's awesome.
Well, it's because they're like these giant, muscular... Oh, you're in the trench.
Oh, no.
You're going. You're good.
There we go. Ooh.
Watch us record our car accident.
I'm in the trench.
Yeah. But no, the bikers just come off as gruff and tough and like they're gonna fight, and then suddenly they whip out this pink cell phone, and he puts his arm around Aquaman, and he's like, don't touch me. He goes, oh, okay.
Okay, I wanted to know if you wanted this moment. Remember when she's like, tell me about your dad? I'm like, he's an alcoholic now.
Yes! That went through my head when they meet his mom again, and he's just like, tell me, or how's your father? Is he, and like, because she was more questioning, is he still alive? But I would just be like, he can still drink me under the table, Mom. Like, yeah. That's kind of the...
He's got tattoos now.
Yeah.
He's very islandy, even though they're in Maine.
Yeah. Yeah, no, well, that's the weird thing about Jason Momoa as Aquaman, with that growing up and having all those tats in Justice League, where I'm just like, aren't those Samoan tattoos?
No, they are. And the thing I read too, that Momoa was like, oh, I can add my heritage to Aquaman. I'm like, no, you can't. Like when he did that, you heard it. That was a little bit of a Hawaiian chant. Where he's like, oh, and then threw the trident up.
Yeah.
And I was like,
which I'm just like, did Willem Dafoe's character teach you to do that? Because that's your trident training, if I recall. But I don't know. It's still.
I'm at a 2. I don't know. The more I'm thinking about it, like I'm really hating this movie.
It's to me though. It's just the characters. It was trying to be Black Panther meets Thor Ragnarok meets like any Avengers movie, where not because of the characters coming together, but because the giant CGI fight at the end that has unknown really kind of consequences behind it. But if one side loses, the fate of the world's going to be in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
Like it was trying to have the what's the right word? The improvisation of Thor Ragnarok and the comedy of Thor Ragnarok with sort of the serious, divinity or not divinity,
like the whole
hierarchy
thing, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, but then having the kingly aspect of Black Panther, which don't get me wrong, that's a legitimate story from the comics. Is Orm versus Arthur.
Oh my goodness! Like when what made me sad too is when is Patrick Wilson going to make out on one of these superhero movies? A good superhero movie? Because
I didn't mind him in Watchmen.
No, but that movie wasn't good.
I mean, it was pretty loyal to the comics.
It was too loyal.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Zack Snyder on that one. It was like, I was like, oh, I appreciate it shot by shot. Oh, this is why we don't make them shot by shot.
This is why we don't. Well, I think other movies have proven why we don't try to make comic books into movies. And I mean, like, literally make... I'm sorry, buddy. You should not have tried to peel out of there.
Yeah. Everybody's like...
Everybody's in a hurry when there's snow and ice on the ground, but they don't know how to drive. But no.
At least we could document our death.
I know.
And it's Aquaman was the last thing I saw.
I know. That's where you just go like, hey, Satan, can I have a second go?
Please. I will sell my soul if I can get to Endgame.
Yeah.
Please.
No, what other superhero movies has he been in, though? Those are the only two I can think of. Because I also remember, like, the key movies I remember him from are Watchmen, this one now, sadly enough, and Phantom of the Opera, sadly enough.
Was he in Phantom of the Opera?
Yeah, he was the main good guy in Phantom of the Opera with Gerard Butler.
Oh, yeah. I forgot all about that.
Like, his filmography is not something I'm super in on, but...
Because I've always loved Patrick Wilson as an actor.
Yeah.
Like, he's always been one of my favorites, and I remember when I heard him got cast as Orm, I was like, yes, bitch.
Which he wasn't a bad Orm. It's just the setup for this all just kind of, I don't know.
I didn't get his plan. Like, I understood that he was like, okay, we want to go have war on the land.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna go kill a bunch of crabs before you even get like.
Well, okay.
Climax was stupid to me.
So that was because he needed, evidently in Atlantean law, he needed all like the 4 of the kingdoms of the 7 to swear allegiance to him before he could mount an attack on the earth or on the surface world. Okay.
Yeah. And
he had 3 of them. One of them he got legitimately. He had his own, and then the other one, yeah, freaking. So I already told you this, but I watched that, and I had already just told him who Jango Fett was in it, and he's like, no, it's not. I'm looking at it, and I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, is that Dolph Lundgren? And I'm like, no, he's too well spoken to be Dolph Lundgren. Turns out it was Dolph Lundgren, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
Which he wasn't.
Wasn't at the time. Yeah, so, I don't know, man. It was just an awkward bit of like, okay, well, there's too much in this movie going on.
No, and we already had Aquaman show up once before, and now, with the exception of the fact that he evidently has his mom's trident, we ignore everything else from Justice League, especially when Mira's like, you defeated Steppenwolf. I'm like,
no,
that's cute, you think that.
Steppenwolf defeated Steppenwolf, I'm sorry.
Oh, if anyone beat Steppenwolf, it was Superman beat Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
The League themselves were like quadruple teaming him and failing.
Motherfucker, why?
Because they are on the road, therefore it is their road.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, I still want to think about this movie
See, this is why when normally I talk about movies I've seen or think about movies like that, I wait until the next day. You've noticed that every time we watch a movie together,
I think we should make this review one. This is review one. Then we could do a review.
Can we do a review a Star Wars story, or review one a Star Wars story, and then review Solo a Star Wars movie?
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about reviewing Solo. I'm doing it by myself.
Yeah, we could even call it Aquaman Part 2 Review 2.
Review a POP-FLIX story.
Yeah. The spin-off.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, I'm very thankful that you took me out. That was something.
I'm sad that it was to see this, but we were going to see it eventually, so...
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Pop.
And I'm Flix.
Welcome to the wicked shit.